All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for being here. Excited to have a few special guests with us today that have a few nice awards to share with Jeff Gordon for all that he's done for the sport and for us here at the Speedway in Dover. So I'll turn it over right now to the mayor of Dover, Robin Christensen.
Thank you. It is with great honor that we name Mr. Jeff Gordon an honorary citizen of the city of Dover. This honor is bestowed upon individuals who are admirable, of good character, and worthy of distinction. Delaware has looked at Jeff Gordon as one of our own for more than 2 decades, and the city of Dover has embraced his ability to master the Monster Mile at Dover International Speedway. It is our hope that this will always be a place that Jeff Gordon and his family feel welcome and call home. Jeff, this is my daughter, Kate, and your #1 Dover fan, Ann Rowe. Hello. So we'd like to present this to you.
Thank you.
All right.
Really, really kind of too much. Thank you very much.
Let's take a photo. All right. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hold on.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Great to have you here. Thank you.
Thanks. I'll take that for you. All right. Representative Carson. Did you want to hold that? All right, we're next joined by Representative Bill Carson, who's got a special presentation for Jeff as well.
Thank you and good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here at Dover Downs International Speedway and the Monster Mile. On behalf of the 148th General Assembly of the State of Delaware, a tribute to be presented, Speaker of the House of Representatives concurring. Be it hereby known to all that the House of Representatives acknowledges Jeff Gordon, his full-time racing career from 1992 to 2015. We recognize this outstanding individual for his remarkable NASCAR racing career with Henry Motorsports and the number 24 Chevrolet. Jeff has won Series Cup championships in 95, 97, 98, and 2001. He has a special connection with the Monster Mile fans in Delaware, as he was sponsored by DuPont for many years. At Dover International Speedway, Jeff has an impressive record with 5 wins, 4 poles, 18 top finishes, and 26 top 10 finishes. We bestow our best wishes for successful future endeavors to this amazing champion of NASCAR. The House of Representatives extends sincere appreciation and congratulations on this tribute to be presented on this day of October 2015, and is signed by Speaker of the House Pete Schwarzkopf, myself, Bill Carson, State Representative from the 28th District, and the entire members of the General Assembly of the House of Representatives of Delaware. Jeff, thank you. Thank you for not all you've accomplished in your career, but all you've done for Dover, Delaware, and the fans in Delaware. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, Representative Carson. All right, next up, Senator Bushweller. We're now joined up front by Senator Brian Bushweller with a special presentation for Jeff.
Jeff, this is a special honor for me and my wife Rocky, who's with me also, and my friend Lori James. And Lori James, by the way, will be in competition for the #1 NASCAR fan and the #1 Jeff Gordon fan here in Dover. She made me say that, as a matter of fact. I have a tribute from the Senate also, and I just want to say that I think most people here, and I'm sure you know too, NASCAR is a very, very popular sport here in the state of Delaware. NASCAR is also a very, very important sport here in the state of Delaware, and we know how important you have been to making NASCAR an important state across the whole United States of America, and we appreciate it very much. The Senate would like to present you with a tribute, and it says in part that the Senate of the 148th General Assembly pays tribute to famed NASCAR champion Jeff Gordon, number 24, for his many contributions over more than 20 years to the sport of stock car racing, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, and Dover International Speedway. The Senate honors Jeff Gordon for his many contributions to the sport of stock car racing, and in particular for his participation in NASCAR Cup Series races at Dover International Speedway, where he has won 5 victories over the years. The winner of 92 victories and 4 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series championships, Jeff Gordon is one of the best-known racers of his time. Widely known for the number 24 on his multicolored stock car, he has endeared himself to thousands of Delaware racing fans. Jeff has announced that 2015 will be his last full-time season in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. The Senate thanks him for all that he has done for NASCAR, for Dover, and for Delaware, and extends warmest best wishes to Jeff and his family for happiness and health in the years to come. May he return to the first state often. The Senate directs this tribute be presented to Jeff Gordon on the 2nd day of October 2015 as he is honored at Dover International Speedway. It's signed by the President Pro Tem of the State Senate, Patty Blevins, by the Secretary of the Senate, Bernard Brady, and myself. Thank you for everything you've done, and congratulations to you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Wonderful. Fantastic. Excellent.
All right. Get a little tighter. All right. Thank you, Senator.
Very much
Thank you very
appreciate
much. Yeah,
Thank you
we
so
appreciate
much.
everything you've done.
Well, we love coming here.
NASCAR is very important to Delaware, and you helped make it that way.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
great.
And,
Thank you.
and fans like her.
That's right.
All right. For one last presentation, the chairman of Dover International Speedway, Dennis McGlynn.
Well, I'm almost, can everybody hear this? I'm almost 70, so I got to use notes. I can't remember all the things that I used to say off the top of my head. But what struck me when I heard we were going to do this is that it seems like yesterday to me that you were racing for Bill Davis down in what was called the Busch Series back then. And now here we are, 92 wins, 4 Cup championships later, and you're getting ready to hang it up and go to the TV booth. You certainly were a great competitor and a great champion for NASCAR, and I know you're going to be a great addition to the Fox team as well. Everybody should know that Jeff has achieved really elite status here at Dover. In the 48 years that we've been racing here, there's only been 5 drivers who have won 5 or more races here at the Monster Mile. That's Richard Petty, that's David Pearson, that's Bobby Allison, that's Jimmy Johnson, and you, Jeff. But you have set yourself apart from that pack even by becoming the first one ever to win 5 races both as a driver and as a car owner. So you're well ahead of the pack in that regard. Now, all season long, tracks have been giving you stuff and honoring you and thanking you for all that you've done for our sport. And this being the 29th race of the season made it pretty difficult for us to come up with something different to do. So we sat down and we thought about who you are, not just as a driver, but as the leader of really what has been one of the most successful race teams in NASCAR history. And we've seen you constantly in victory lane, acknowledging and sharing your victories with your team. And knowing who you are, we knew that you would embrace this opportunity to recognize your team for all the support and dedication that they've provided to you throughout your career, but in this case, particularly here at Dover. So with that, we'd like to present you and your team with, if you turn around, there's going to be 80 Monster Mile trophy replicas. 90. And each one of your team members are on there. They're individually named. And it reads, in this case, presented to Jeff Gordon. This is a quote from Vince Lombardi. The achievements of an organization are the results of the combined efforts of each individual. So thank you for everything you've done. Good luck to you in the rest of your career.
All right, with that, we'll turn it over to Matt Humphrey. Matt, you can fight your way through the crowd. We also have a table coming.
Well, let me just first say thank you as we're getting this table in here. Thanks to everyone. It's one of these kind of lazy, rainy days where we're all waiting for it to stop raining so we get on track. And I'll be honest, I was not fully prepared for this and these presentations. This was a surprise and a much appreciated one. So thank you very much to everyone for. Wow, this is quite a setup here. I must say that I told Dennis this, that, in a year where I've been given a lot of great gifts, I'm also trying to figure out what to get the people that mean the most to me, that have worked so hard over the years, particularly the team members. And Dennis, you guys just helped me out a lot. So these guys are going to appreciate this very, very much, especially the Monster Mile Trophy and Miles and their names being on it. I hope that my last victory didn't come last year. I really hope it comes this year here at Dover, and maybe one more at Homestead. If we could do that, that'd be fantastic. So this means a lot. This is very special. Thank you,
Jeff. Thanks again for joining us. And you mentioned that you won this race last year to clinch your spot in the next round in the chase. What's it going to take for a repeat performance in the AAA 400?
Yeah, I've always enjoyed Dover, and especially with these presentations that just occurred, it does remind me of how much Dover and the state of Delaware has meant for me personally, for our team. Coming here to Wilmington every single year, visiting with all the employees at DuPont, that was our sponsor for so many years, and even Exalta now, that's really the same company, just a different name, and it's always special coming here. And then when I see the success that we had, you always want to have success in your sponsor's home and backyard, and we did that from the beginning, and it always made coming here that much more special. So, last year was really memorable to win this race. My family was here. I had friends that were here. It was a great day. We didn't have to win that race in order to move on. We needed to have a solid day, and I feel like we're in a very similar position, this weekend. But we would love to come out of here with a win. I think it just does a lot, momentum-wise, confidence-wise, for the next round and for trying to win this championship.
Good deal. We will now open the floor up to questions. Now, I apologize to the folks in the back. I may not be able to see you, so raise your hand really high. We'll get a wireless microphone to you. We'll start in the back with Joseph, and then we'll work our way around.
Joseph Walken, frontstretch.com. A lot of people have been wondering about where the next generation of racers are going to come from. How do you feel like it's different from when you were coming up through the rankings in the early 1990s?
Well, I mean, what I love about NASCAR, and I had a conversation earlier today talking about my first time I ever went to Charlotte and was pursuing stock cars. I didn't know a lot about stock car racing and racing cars with full bodies on them when I was racing sprint cars, and the Midwest and growing up in California, but I was in awe of it immediately. I knew that this was for me. The first time I traveled to North Carolina and went to Rockingham, saw that track. I saw Charlotte Motor Speedway. When I got behind the wheel of that stock car on those high bank tracks, being on ovals especially, I was just so drawn to it, and I knew it was for me. So, the great thing about that is that it doesn't matter where you come from or what kind of racing you grow up on, other than I think it needs to be oval driven, but it doesn't have to be a stock car. It doesn't have to be a big, heavy, car that's racing at the same tracks or similar tracks, similar cars. It can be open wheel sprint cars and midgets, and it can be go-karts. It can be all kinds of different paths that get you there. But what I love about NASCAR is that we have a sport in which talent is the biggest overriding factor of hiring young drivers. The car owners, the sponsors, the teams, they embrace wanting to bring individuals, give them a chance, taking a chance on them, and because they believe they have the talent to go win races and championships, and create the funding that it takes to go racing based on that. And we've got proof of that with a guy like Kyle Larson, with an up and coming guy like Chase Elliott, and I that's exciting. That's what drew me to it, and I think that's what's going to continue to help this sport thrive in the future.
Additional questions for Jeff Gordon? Please raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. We'll go back to Bill, and then up to Kenny.
Bill Fleischman, Philly Daily News. Jeff, you said before the second Pocono race that the fact that this is your final season hadn't really sunk in yet because you're so focused on current racing. Now that you're in the home stretch, and another presentation like this, has it more meaningful to you? You realize how close you are to the end of the career?
We're winding down, that's for sure. I still believe it's going to be Homestead, when it hits me. I'm pretty good at, and I think this has definitely been a plus for me as a driver over the years is to put a lot of those feelings and emotions and thoughts on the side and just go focus on doing my job. And when I get in the car, I'm not thinking about anything else other than that. When I get to the track, it's pretty much the same way. And right now we are in the thick of this championship. We're proud that we made it into the chase. We're proud of the position that we're in this first round, and we've got work to do this weekend to make sure we go on to the second round, and then it starts all over again. So it's still, the focus is very competitive driven, and that's where most of my thoughts and emotions are right now. But Homestead, it's going to be, no matter what's happening there, whether we're going for a championship or not, it's going to be hard to hold that back, especially when that checkered flag waves.
We're going to go to Kenny Bruce and then to Steve Richards.
Kenny Bruce, NASCAR.com. Jeff, NASCAR's announcement that the restart zones have been changed, I wondered your opinion on that. Was that the right move? How do you see it impacting restarts going forward?
I absolutely love it. I think it's a great move. I've been asking for this for a while. I think we just kind of went too extreme. It used to be a mark on the wall, and it was in the vicinity of this mark in this area, but that really the way the rules are written, you could kind of go all the way to the start finish line. Some people push the limits on that, force NASCAR to make this box that we currently have, but the box was always too small, and it just makes the whole front row very vulnerable, and not just the second place car, but the leader as well, and it's needed to be bigger. My only question is did they go big enough? And I think the bigger the track, the bigger we're going to need to make it. I did a study with my team last year on this whole restart box, and my engineers did all the numbers, and at pace car speed, the average time that you were in that box and had time to react to a restart was barely over 1 second. So it may look like it's fairly big out there, It is not, and when you have 1 second to react in that area, everyone can just anticipate what's going on with the people in the front row. There's no question, there's no doubt, there's no anything other than, okay, I know they're getting ready to go, and I'm gonna roll with just 1 mile per hour more speed and gain an advantage over them. And so I like that they're gonna put it back into the leaders' hands a little bit. Doesn't mean that still things aren't going to go on, but I think it's going to be better for NASCAR, better for the front row, and better for the whole field.
Okay, we're going to go to Steve, and then up front here to Tim, and then back to Zach, and then over to Dustin.
Yeah, Steve Richards with PRN. Jeff, you've been in situations like Harvick this weekend where you've had to win or you've had to finish maybe top 3. How difficult is that going to be for Kevin this weekend, considering Dover is a place where things can happen so very quickly?
Yeah, but you could also look at his performance, not just recently, all year long. This race earlier this year, I think he was the dominant car. So, that is a lot of pressure. But I think if there's any team capable of coming through in a must-need situation, it's that team. They're going to have 42 others out there trying to prevent them from winning this race. That's certainly going to be a challenge for them. But I think. You have to understand that everyone in this chase knows that they're the biggest threat for the championship. If they get eliminated, it takes the biggest threat out of it. So Kevin and that team's going to be working hard, and all the other teams are going to be working hard to win this race and potentially eliminate one of the biggest threats.
Jeff, I was with you at Dogfish Head a few months ago when you went to the brewery there. Everywhere you go, you have a lot of fans. What do you say to all these people that are out there right now in the campgrounds, soaking wet? They came to see you. They want to see you race this weekend. Just praying for the good weather with them?
Yeah, that's what makes our sport and our fans amazing. And I met with about 15 or 20 of my biggest fans earlier this morning, and this doesn't stop them. It doesn't slow them down. I know they'd love to be in the grandstands watching cars go around the racetrack, but it's what's made this sport so great and so successful is the loyal, avid fans that we have that are willing to figure out how to enjoy themselves even when the rain doesn't want to stop, and know that Sunday's looking pretty good right now, and then we got an excellent chance of getting this full race in and having a great Dover race. I don't know what that's going to mean for practice, today and tomorrow, or certainly not today, but what's going to happen tomorrow. But I know that they're going to be anxious to get that green flag like we are on Sunday.
Go back to Zach.
Zach Catanzarelli, front stretch. What are your feelings towards Tony Stewart, and what advice are you going to give him when it comes to going through your last year?
Yeah, man, that's a tough one. I'm torn on that one because I love Tony. I love seeing him out there. I'm not only a competitor that has had the opportunity to race against one of the all-time best drivers I think I've ever driven against or watched, but I as a fan, I just love seeing him out there on the track. He always keeps it interesting and exciting, and this talent, you just never know when Tony's going to come out of nowhere and win the race. You can't ever count him out. You never know when he's just going to go on a roll and win the championship when you least expect it. That's just the kind of competitor that he is, and he's a great personality as well. So, my advice to him is just enjoy every moment because it goes by really fast. Have fun with it, celebrate it. I think that's the thing is, just like myself, he has a career worthy of being celebrated. He's going to get a lot of accolades and support from the fans and the tracks and the media and everything else because of what he's done over the years. But enjoy it because it's been a heck of a ride, and he deserves it.
Go next to Dustin.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Jeff, got Talladega coming up in the near future. Last time at a plate
Let's
truck.
see why you got to ruin my day and make me think about Talladega.
That's what I'm here for. I'm
What's the
Grinch.
race right before Talladega? Is Talladega the first one in that round?
No, it's the elimination race.
Yeah, I just want to think about the other two so I can try to win at those tracks.
But obviously, the last plate race, Daytona, was the last lap incident, the incident on the green-white checker where Dillon got into the fence. A couple of years earlier, there was the Kyle Larson incident that it was a green-white checker situation, got into the fence. NASCAR's talked a while back about having a procedural change potentially with the race procedure. As you look, as we get closer to Talladega, would you be voicing any type of opinion on limiting the number of green-white checkers at a plate race or something else that could potentially avoid that type of situation?
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to it. You know, Talladega with the start-finish line not being in the tri-oval, there's some advantages to that as well. It's a wider racetrack. You've got a lot more room to race on when you have some of those big runs coming to the finish line. But the same thing's going to hold true. You know, that style of racing and the aggressiveness that you have to have in the closing laps, especially when there's a late caution. You know, you don't have any choices other than hold it wide open and hold on tight, and that's what makes it so exciting if you're watching. It's what makes it intense from inside the car, and I'm not so sure there's much procedural stuff that can change or fix that. But you know, we've had meetings. You know, we had that meeting last week in New Hampshire. We've had, you know, council meetings, and then in between that, give your opinion. And certainly, yes, I've given my thoughts and my opinions. And you know, as a group, it seems like we're all collaborating more than we ever have, and that is one of the topics.
Would it make sense to reduce? I understand that, like you mentioned, there could be a late caution, and the same situation can happen. Does it make sense to reduce the number of potential green-white checkers?
I certainly don't think we need multiple green-white checkers at a restrictor plate track. Yes, I think that makes sense.
Any additional questions for Jeff? Well, Jeff, thanks again for coming in. And
thank you.
Congratulations again.
Oh, yeah, this is amazing. I don't know how we're going to get all these home, but thank you very much.